Hey guys, we are in lesson 19 of phonics. Today we're starting something new. We are doing a reader, and it's called snapshots. So let's think about that. Snapshots. What do you think of when you hear the word snapshot? It's almost like a picture, isn't it? Okay, so we're going to be seeing pictures of different things in this reader. Well, today our story is about a girl named Beth, and she is the main character, and she travels to the United Kingdom. So I have got my map pulled down back here. I know, it's a map, right? You don't really see a lot of these anymore. But I am going to try to show you where the United Kingdom is on this map, and I'm going to get as close as I can with it, and I think that's as close as it's going to be. Okay, so the United Kingdom is right here in this portion of Europe, on the continent of Europe. It's one of our 7 continents, okay? So now what I want to do is I want to show you where it is compared to the United States. Okay, I made it a little bit zoomed out there. So we live over here in North America. Okay, so we live in the United States, which is part of North America, another continent. And United is over here, and it's on the European continent. All right. So North America and Europe. So she went to visit from America to the UK, which is short for United Kingdom. All right, so let's put that up. Okay, so let's bring it back down to me. All right, so what I want to start with is I want to work on some tricky word cards right now. Our tricky words, we've got 2 of them today. We have this one, okay. How would you pronounce this by blending it? Ta-ha-e, ta-ha-e. How would you say that word? The word is the, okay? And it's usually pronounced as the. This is the last slice of pizza. So I'm going to write that word on the board. Okay, the. All right. Now, I'm going to circle the TH because you hear that sound. That's what you would expect when you hear the word the. But I'm going to underline the E because that's the tricky part. That part sounds like a U and not an E. So remember when you read this word the, that you have to remember to pronounce it as a U, okay? The. But when you write it, you have to remember to spell it with the E, T-H-E. Our next tricky word is this word. And what word is that? Let's try blending it. Wa-ha-o, wa-ha-o. Well, you wouldn't blend it that way because this word is who. Who, okay? So it's almost like a who, like a hoot owl, hooing. So who has my dog? Let's see here. So there's the word who written on the board. And I'm going to underline the letters, the W and the H. But this is the tricky part of the word, and this is probably what you would expect to be pronounced as a huh, like where and when and what, all right? Those all have the WHs, but it's pronounced as an H. I'm going to underline the O also because that's the other tricky part of this word. And you would probably expect this letter to be pronounced O, but it's pronounced oo, like in to or do. So when you read this word who, you have to remember to pronounce it with the letters WH as an H and the letter O as two O's. But when you write it, you need to remember to spell the H as WH and the two O's just as one single O. So you have the word the and who. The and who, the and who. All right. So now, let's talk about our reading time. We're going to talk about our reading time. We are going to go back and forth in between a reader and workbook pages. So I'm going to show you the reader first. Okay, I'm going to show you the reader first. And I'm not going to zoom in on it because I need you to see the whole reader. All right. So this right here is the front cover of the story. All right. This is a snapshot. It's a picture that's been taken with a camera. So based on that title, snapshots, we're going to be seeing snapshots throughout our story. Now, the snapshot is about a girl named Beth who is 10 years old. Like us, she lives in the United States or the US. And we just saw where the United Kingdom was on our map, and I showed you also where the United States was on the map. Well, Beth gets to take a trip to the United Kingdom. All right. And in this, Beth tells us about her trip and shares some of the snapshots that she's taken. And this story usually has a title, all right? And let's see if we can figure out what the title is to this story. Do you see the title? What's the title? Beth. Good. It's Beth. I'm going to scoot it up a little. Oops, I went too far. Oh, my goodness. Yes, please. Sorry, friends, I'm having some technical issues with this. I just need to see this page. Yes, I don't need to see that. Yeah, right there. Perfect. Sorry, friends. Yeah, if you don't care, just to be on the safe side. All right. Sorry about that. Some technical issues. All right. Stories are made up of sentences, and a sentence is a complete thought. The first letter is the first word of a sentence, and it's usually capitalized, and it ends with a little dot called a period. The period indicates that it is time to make a full stop and take a breath when reading. So we're going to read this story through without stopping, okay? And I'm going to track the words with my finger as I'm reading. And make sure you follow along also with your finger on your screen, okay? So the title of this story is Beth, So make sure you listen carefully to learn about Beth. I am Beth. I am 10. I am at camp. Camp is fun. Okay, look there. There's a snapshot. It's a picture there, Beth. Okay. Once Mom and Dad went on a trip to the camp. All of us were at the camp. Dad and I went on top of a path at the pond. Mom got a snapshot of us. This is the snapshot. Wow, look at that snapshot. Cool. Then Mom let us snap some shots. Dad got a snapshot of Mom. There's Mom. I got a snapshot of a dog with, what'd she get a snapshot with? That's it. All right, we roll it back to the beginning again. Okay, so now what we're gonna do now is we are going to read this story again, but I'm gonna ask you questions along the way this time. So make sure that you're paying attention, okay? So let's look here. On page 2, why do you think, well actually let's read first. I am Beth, I am 10, I am at camp, camp is fun. Why do you think they have the I underlined on these pages? Why do you think that? Well, it's a tricky word. It is a tricky word. All right, and remember, tricky parts of tricky words are underlined. Okay, next page. Yes, all right. Once Mom and Dad went on a trip to the camp. All of us were at the camp. Dad and I went up on top of a path at the pond. Mom got a snapshot of us. This is the snapshot. Who can tell me a noun that names a person on this page? Ooh, Mom is one. That's good. Ooh, Dad is another one. Great. And those name people. Wow. Anybody else? No? Okay. Now, remember, there's another type of noun too, a noun that names a thing. Can you find a thing on the page also? Ooh, a path. Good. Path is a thing. Camp. Oh, well, that would be a place, but it could be a thing too. Pond is a thing. Good. All right. That's good. Now, let's look at the word the. Look at the word the. Remember, the is a tricky word that we've learned, and the letter E is underlined because that is the part of the word that is not sounded as E, as we would expect. Remember, it has the sound. Good. All right. To the picture, this one. Now, look at Beth's hair. If Beth's hair is blowing around like this, what do you think the weather is like on top of the path at the pond? It's windy. Good. All right, let's look at this page. Then Mom let us snap some shots. Dad got a snapshot of Mom. How many tricky words are on this page? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3. We have 3 tricky words. Remember to be careful reading tricky words because they do not play by the rules. Right. Oh, there was Mom. Oh, can I have a volunteer to read this one by yourself? Good. Now I'm going to read it so you can hear it from me too. I got a snapshot of a dog with, Let's look at this picture. What's the name of this dog? Well, if you look right here on his collar, he's got a name tag on. We may have to, let's zoom in to see if we can see it. Can you see what his name is? It's Jet. Jet. Good. Let me zoom back out. How do we know his name is Jet? Because it's on his collar. Good. All right. So, were there any parts of this story that we didn't understand? It was kind of different because there really wasn't an ending, was there? We didn't know what happened with that snapshot. It was just pictures. So sometimes stories can be different like that, all right? So where are Beth and her parents at in this story? They're at camp. Good. Okay. Beth took a funny snapshot. What did she take a picture of? She took a picture of a dog with a hot dog in its mouth. What do you think that dog's going to do with that hot dog? You think he's just going to walk around with that hot dog hanging out? Nope. I know he's going to eat it, because if that was my dog holding a hot dog, he would have already have eaten that thing. He would have, we would have. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring up our worksheets and we are going to complete them together, all right? So make sure you have them in front of you so you can answer also. All right, so let's see if I can get it brought back over to where you can see it again. I'm doing a lot of moving this camera back and forth today. Okay, so the question number 1 says, who went on top of the path at the pond? So who was on top of the path at the pond? Think back, there was a picture of it. Who was it a picture of? Dad and Beth. So we can put Dad. Notice I started with a capital D because it's the beginning of my sentence. Dad and Beth went on top of the path at the pond. Notice, I have a capital letter, I have a period, and I have spacing between my words. And I've answered my question. Who went on top of the path at the pond? Dad and Beth went on top of the path at the pond. Number 2, who got some snapshots? Who took snapshots during our story today? Well, I do believe Dad took snapshots. Dad, Mom, and Beth. Dad, Mom, and Beth took snapshots. Notice capital letter, punctuation, and spaces between my words. Who got some snapshots? Dad, Mom, and Beth took snapshots. Good. It's going a little bit. Yes, please. Thank you. Did Beth get a snapshot of a cat? Was there a snapshot in our story of a cat? No. It was a picture of a what? A dog. Beth got a snapshot of a dog. Period. Notice the capital letter, the spaces, and your period. Number 4, Dad got a snapshot of a fish, Mom, or Beth. Oh, he got a snapshot of Mom. So when you do this, you color in that little dot right there and make sure to stay in that little circle. Okay? Let's erase this. Is there another page? I think that's it. Nope, that is it. All right. So, we've answered our questions for our lesson. All right. And make sure that once you've answered the questions that you send them in for a grade. All right. Because we did them together. So make sure you do that. And I do believe that is the end of our phonics lesson today. So I hope you enjoyed the reader today, and I will see you tomorrow.